me and you and me. No matter how they toss the dice, and to be the only one for me is you. Happy together.
Something's gone wrong in the happy-go-lucky world of Nintendo. Introducing Super Smash Brothers, where all your favorite characters go toe-to-toe in one 4-player star-studded slam fest, only on Nintendo 64.
Okay, so the following year, January 7th, 1992, Full House airs the episode Play It Again, Jesse. You want to walk us through that, Matt?
Yeah, so first of all, shout out John Stamos, one of, universally one of the sexiest men ever. So Uncle Jesse,
man, got to.
This is a very Uncle Jesse heavy episode, but in this episode, Aunt Becky, Jesse's wife, is going back to work after maternity leave, leaving Uncle Jesse to be Mr. Mom to his kids while his wife goes back to work. So instead of just showering himself in pussy juice on a daily basis, Uncle Jesse's married and has a kid, and I feel like he loves that. You know, he got his rocks off back in the day. He fucked maybe 1 million women. 1,000,001 was Becky, and he loved her. So, he got his family, but now she's back to work. Uncle Jesse's got to clean up the house, cook, keep the kids, go to the store. He's Mr. Mom.
The rippers are gone. His mullet is gone.
Yeah, the leather jackets in the fucking back of the closet. The condoms that he never used anyway have been tossed. All the black books that he had, the numbers, the panties that were thrown at him, they're gone. It's a memory. And he's suffering, Steve. Uncle Jesse's having a moment of crisis here where he even says it to Becky later on in the episode. He's like, it's fine that you make the money, but I got to make some money for this family. I'm a fucking man. He doesn't say it like that, but basically that's his vibe.
I felt for Uncle Jesse throughout this episode. This was borderline a very special episode because...
I feel like you said it best when we talked about this the other day. This was Uncle Jesse getting his groove back, Steve.
Yeah.
He'd been rocked. He's been sort of rocked off kilter. He's got the kids. He's got this new life, the rippers. He's not out there ripping through the fucking USA pussy and music wise. He's not getting the deals. The money's not there. It's just not happening for Uncle Jesse. And I feel like through this episode, even through the emasculation, even through getting a denial from the record company on his song or whatever deal he was trying to work out.
His jingles weren't jangling.
Nothing. Nothing's working for this man. He's hit rock bottom. So, he's talking to his kids. He's helping fucking Joey out with his fucking bitch ass neck. Joey, basement dwelling Joey, comes out of the basement. He's got a neck problem. That's his story arc, is his neck hurts.
Yeah, because he jacks off too much and plays with his puppet.
I feel like it's not that. I feel like what it is when he's peeping into Uncle Jesse's window, he has to twist his neck and beat off. And it's just such an extreme angle that he has to get that's what happened. He had just had a tough bust.
Man, he was doing that erotic he was doing that erotic asphyxiation shit when it was still underground.
Cut it out, Joey. Cut it out. Just stop. So just to get it out, we can just get out of Joey's situation, because this is one thing I noticed in this episode, Steve. Yeah. Joey, the character, I don't like him. He's out. If it was my Full House, he'd be the fuck out.
Oh, man, but he's your childhood buddy.
Yeah, but still, there's weirdness. You got kids. He's got a weird pedo vibe. So obviously, what did they do? They threw him in the basement. All right then and there, you've already done what you can. But I don't like the vibe. I got kids if I'm Danny Tanner or Jesse at this point. So to me, Joey, you got to go. You got to go back to the fucking Castro district. You got to go back to the Tenderloin, whatever in San Francisco, and you got to find yourself an apartment somewhere. We can't help you anymore. So that's my verdict. Sorry.
You know, it's
sorry,
not,
Dave Coulier fanatics, but
yeah,
I'm not buying what he's selling.
I was never huge on him. I think maybe as a kid I tolerated him, but you know, we could do without him. I mean, he's not bringing anything besides Mr. Woodchuck to the table.
I mean, I don't need some guy who's the equivalent of a cruise ship comic to be living in my basement. You know, whatever you're doing, it ain't successful. I need your ass out of my basement. So while Joey is working on his fucked up neck, Jesse's trying to wrestle with his masculinity, his future, what his role in the family other than just to be a stay-at-home dad.
He's got to get his foot back. He's got to get his sense.
And he doesn't want, this isn't about going out and fucking 1,000 chicks just to feel that rush again. He just needs to go out and play that fucking music. He needs to feel that music inside of him again. And while he's at it, he needs to get a little bit of money. So what does he do? He says, you know what? LA doesn't want me. San Francisco doesn't want me. The record industry doesn't want me. I'm going with the Diplomats.
Dipset.
And we're talking even before Cameron. Like, this is Dipset, 1940s Dipset. The Diplomats.
Nope.
I mean, and salute. And what does he do? He goes in and he brings 1,000% increase in sex to this, I guess, lounge act is what you would call it.
At the San Francisco airport, and so like I didn't even know that was a thing at any airport where they had live bands performing.
Just a lounge act. I mean, this is apparently just a lounge where, you know, Jesse's there. He's hamming it up. You know, he's doing the lounge lizard thing where he's like, "Hey, what's up? Do you look like you just got a divorce?" Oh, like he's doing like sort of that vibe. But I gotta say, he's obviously an accomplished, really well put together musician because, you know, he's been a ripper, right? He's been there. He's been Axl Rosing it. He's been shredding fucking guitar, just drenched in pussy juice. But then he throws on the lounge coat. He goes to the piano and he blends right in with the Diplomats, which I feel is like, I'm not a musician by trade, but I feel like that's got to be pretty hard to do. And I mean, it's like nothing. You just go there and he's basically the main component to the band.
He had a great resume. You know, he was the poor man's Bon Jovi, but that was enough to get him the gig, man. And not only that, but not only was he trying to get into his groove, but Stephanie was trying to get in her older sister's clothes.
Weird. I mean, that was a weird way to say it, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that was a weird way to say it. Now that you bring attention to it. But, DJ said, "Bitch, stay the fuck out of my closet. Don't wear any of my clothes." But Stephanie's like, "Fuck that shit. I got middle child syndrome. So I'm going to do exactly what you told me not to do. I'm going to wear your purple sweater. And when we go to the grocery store with Uncle Jesse, I'm going to pour some mustard on it accidentally."
No, it wasn't. I got to say, that squirt, that was no accident, bro. That's middle child, just hatred right there. Oh, I can't have this fucking sweater, bitch.
No, you can't, because I'm the older sister, and I just said you can't. And you know, Stephanie does it anyway, and they go to the grocery store with Uncle Jesse, and Uncle Jesse's doing his stay-at-home dad shit. It's the two boys, so he's watching his kids, and he's babysitting his two nieces. He runs into a guy.
BTK Killer?
What's the guy's name? He runs into
the BTK Killer.
George, yeah, his name was George, and George is played by David Breen, who's actually from Ohio. And David Breen,
OH, baby,
Ohio. And George saw Jesse on that morning's Wake Up San Francisco, And he was like, hey, it's an honor to meet another stay-at-home husband. He was like, no, don't call me that shit. You say that shit again, I'll put 5 to your face, ho.
And he almost did. He almost was like, what, bitch? What'd you just say to me?
Put some respect on my name. I'm Jesse from Jesse and the Rippers. And he's just kind of like, oh, yeah, whatever, stay-at-home husband. And so he's just having the hardest time right now. He's losing his soul. And
sad, dude. That's the bottom right there, where some pedo looking stay-at-home dad's like, you'll get used to it. It's like, shut up, you fucking chud.
Yeah, dude. You don't know who I am.
Jesse, do you know who the fuck I am? I was a ripper, bitch. I'll rip you the fuck up right now. You could see that in his eyes.
Straight up.
He couldn't. What was he gonna do? He's got his kids and a whole nother family's worth of kids, which, can I just say, like, that's irresponsible on Danny Tanner's part. You're gonna make this motherfucker take around all your kids too?
For real, man.
What the fuck, dude? I'm Jesse. Like, I'm only one man. I might be the maximum. I might be the man, but I'm not.
I'm human.
5 kids deep. I can't handle this.
This is only some temporary shit. Now, I got other things I need to do.
Yeah.
Like,
do you see these
kids every day? You know what I mean? Like, I hope y'all don't expect that.
To me, what I found more sad was that he had to eat all that, and just like on top of all this that's happening, right? We got Jesse, the ultimate cocksman, struggling. His wife's going back to work. They got kids. He ain't getting solid sex. It's happening, but for Jesse, like, it's not.
Dude,
it's like putting $5 of gas in a car. It's like,
dude, did you pay attention to Aunt Becky's wardrobe at the first scene when she comes out ready for her job?
Was it the green outfit?
Yes, dude. She's dressed like Jacqueline Kennedy, and this is 1992. And I look at women who dress like that in modern times as people who have boring sex. So Jesse's definitely not hitting it like he.
I mean, are you kidding me? She's not doing the stuff. She's not doing the real stuff that he had. Because, I mean, you got to think about it. People like you and me, and I feel like I've had some great experiences sexually. But like a guy like, let's say, Axl Rose, for example, or somebody like that.
Yeah.
What haven't you had done to you? So it's like, if you're going even like a doggy style situation, which I feel for like a married couple, even sometimes that might be a little bit weird. Like, he's got to negotiate that, where it was like, he could look at Becky at any point and be like, lady, I had 6 chicks just straight doing fucking Cirque du Soleil on this. Like, what is this? You're just blowing on it. Like, this isn't happening. You're mushing it at this point.
Are we really going to do missionary every time?
Yeah, can we at least do just get on top one, like something? I'm Jesse Katsopoulos. Jesse can't stop this dick. Okay,
You're legit.
But what I'm saying is that this ultimate man can't get it. He's like, everything's off kilter, right? Sex, life, everything, and Danny Tanner at the same time he's getting too much pussy. He's got a hottie. She's about to leave to go to Chicago because she was Aunt Becky's replacement on their daytime talk show.
Yeah, when she was on maternity leave.
So Danny, at this point, you indicated that Jesse was on the morning show. Well, the reason he was doing that was that Aunt Becky was coming back. And in that same segment where Aunt Becky was coming back, Danny was saying goodbye to this woman who he's fallen in love with, who is Aunt Becky's replacement. Yeah. And something that struck me about this, like, especially when he was saying like the goodbye on the TV show, is that they basically almost fucked on live television.
Yeah, I caught that. Like, they were basically going in for the smooch, and it's like, dude, this day and age, man, I don't know what goes down in San Fran, but
guys, let's keep it professional. Regis and Kathy Lee, it wasn't like she went down on him his last day. It was just like, see ya.
Although she totally should have, because it's Regis Philbin. But
I love this dick suck. Like, imagine if he got his dick sucked on the line. That would have been, I mean, Regis, shout out to Regis. Rest in peace, I think, because, I mean, that would have been great. But anyway, Danny Tanner almost fucks this woman and then emotionally manipulates her into giving up her dream of hosting a show to be the weather lady on their show so she can stay in San Francisco. So I got to say, in terms of this episode of me analyzing behavior, I say what I'm seeing is Jesse, selfless, sexual being, struggling, but on his way back. Danny Tanner, he's a manipulator. He's creepy. He does really perverted sexual shit. That's where the vibe I got is that if he's willing to almost like fuck on camera, what he's doing behind the scenes really fuck. Like what Joey's doing is on this level, and he's under the stratosphere, you know?
Because I think she just really makes Danny Tanner's jeans jump.
Yeah. Well, she's the only one who will do. It's one of those situations where it's like some guy who's only had sex once in his life and he's like 30, 40 years old. Yeah. He ain't going to let that go. You know what I mean? So like to me, what it is he almost has made sex like love, and he thinks this woman loves her, but she's like, Danny, thanks for the dick, but I'm trying to go to Chicago. And he's like, no, please don't, I love you. And he's not emotionally manipulating her because I don't remember all of Full House, but I don't think Danny ends up with what's her face? What's her name? Victoria?
But he did say that it's okay, like, because he cares about her that much. He was like, hey, I insist, like, this is your dream. Okay. Like, I insist you go to Chicago. And she was just like, you sure? All right.
But it was more like, I guess you can go to Chicago, but I'll miss you. It's like he's guilt tripping her into making the decision he wants her to make. You know what I'm saying?
I like to see the good and
okay.
And because she didn't want to go. She liked him that much. But he was like, no, I insist, like, this is what you want to do. Like, don't do this over me. And like that takes a big man to accept that. Because like you said, Danny, he wasn't getting action. It's been some time. He's widowed. He raised 3 daughters. So he's a dad. He's a working dad. So he can't really go out to the San Francisco clubs and kick it. So he found somebody at his job, which I'm sure a lot of single dads, that has to be the case.
Bad move, Danny. Bad move, bud.
Help. But he did. And it was real, though, because I feel like the sentiments were shared.
Well, I mean, she did end up at the end. And I'll say this whole episode culminates in the lounge where Jesse is playing with the diplomat. So everyone goes to see him play to support. So there's one notch on the belt for Aunt Becky. She does go to support him. I will say she's very dismissive of his bad mood and just his expression of he feels emasculated. She seems to kind of dismiss that. But you know, they all show up. Jesse's killing it. He even tries to get the diplomats to get a little rip in their system. And they're a little, you know, they're older. It's a little too old. But he gets them right to that edge. And I feel like another guy with the diplomats, they wouldn't even been going that far. But for Jesse, they're like, I need to get some pussy, Jesse, real quick before I go to the rest home. I need a little extra strange.
They helped each other. Jesse needed them. They needed Jesse. Jesse was the spark, to get their groove back, the diplomats, word to Joel Santana. And, as they're doing that, they play that rock and roll tune, and the crowd is lit. Everybody gets out their seat. They do their thing. And, Joey gets his neck back. And he also probably got some neck from the lady he was dancing with. And
he was dancing with, wasn't he dancing with Becky?
He had a dance partner.
Okay, well, hey, my bad, Joey. But to be honest, that woman's probably dead. She fixed his neck, and then he took her out back and fucking killed her in the basement.
After he got his neck.
Yeah.
I gotta cut you out.
I got a stiff neck. God damn it, Joey. Put your dick back in your pants. See, that's probably more of his vibe. He's that guy that just pulls his dick out, but it's like not even funny. It's like, dude, come on.
He's the inspiration for Louis C.K.
Yeah, dude. I mean, here's the thing though, Steve. As a guy who finds humor in all things, I'll say this, and I'm a married man. Pulling your dick out every once in a while, with somebody where it's not going to get you a charge. Like, I'll do it with my wife, where I'll just like be like, hey, honey, does this look funny? And she'll be like, what are you talking about? I'll be like, this. And it'll just be like my nutsack on my wrist or something.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's
funny.
That's what we signed up for. It's perfectly fine in the comfort of your own home or in the state of Georgia or Florida. I
mean, like I wish I had the confidence in college just to be doing that, because with a bunch of your buddies in college, great times. Like, that's when you should be doing it.
Yeah, you know? I'm so glad we didn't have smartphones when we were.
I mean, I would already be in jail and I would have no future, and I would, you know.
Oh my God. So many self-incriminating. We're not going to get off on that.
Yeah, I mean, that happened in the 2000s, Steve. That didn't happen in the 90s. So we don't have to talk.
So yeah, man, that was Full House. Played again, Jesse.
I feel like overall though, like as far as this holding up, you know, I'm an older person. I'm not necessarily. I think that what would be the audience if I was like my age when this came out.
Yeah.
But gotta say, maybe it's a nostalgia thing, but I was into this episode. Maybe it's because we're creating like this alternate personality for Uncle Jesse, where he is like this ultimate man and not this clean-cut G-rated version of Uncle Jesse that is on the TV show. This is the story I have in my head.
But it's for that same reason. This one doesn't sit well with me because I prefer that era of Full House when he had the mullet and, you know, he was rocking with the band.
Yeah, dude. Beach Boys Uncle Jesse, dude, on the drums, just fucking hair billowing.
And I gotta add, man, Michelle at this point is starting to become annoying. Watching it now, like this, like she always has some like little retort or little witticism to say, like "shut up, stay in a child's place."
She's a fucking snitch. Also, it's like, shut up. Yeah, I stole her fucking sweatshirt.
She said DJ's going to have a cow 3 times on this show, and it got a huge pop from the audience. I'm like, this is how corny we were in 1992.
It's like if you just had a kid in a show and you could get them to say like one sentence, it's like, oh, it's like, okay, all right. And then, you know what's even less impressive about it? There were 2 of them. So when one of them was acting like a piece of shit, you're like, get the other one.
Yeah.
Get fucking Mary Kate in here. This fucking bitch won't say anything. Ashley, shut the fuck up.
Here's some pudding.
Yeah, like go learn something. Go do something. Like, I'll say this. Here are the characters that jump out at me that I do not like on the show. I've said Joey, and I'm with you on Michelle. Michelle is there to be like, here's vintage Michelle. Remember that episode? I think Joey was moving out or leaving, and she gives him the pig thing. Like, she's like, she's like a little baby. And she gives him like, I think it's like a piece of her wallpaper. It's just like something that's in her room.
Yeah.
And there's a moment of like emotion. That's what she's there for. And like once she started getting older, like now I don't like it. When I was a kid, maybe I thought it was funny or whatever, but
yeah. Like that is vintage Michelle, because, you know, she had the cute factor, but that was the purpose of Jesse's twin boys. Cause like, you know, all of those shows when there's a youngest child, they get older, they go through that ugly phase, and then they find another like younger character, like, you know, little Nicky or cousin Nicky, or Michelle, or, you know,
Leo DiCaprio in Growing Pains,
or that he was like a late season, one of the later season additions, because
they age out. It's like eventually Michelle's going to be tall and like a normal kid, so we got to get Jesse's kids, we got to get them. Now they're the babies. Now they can say the Michelle lines, and Michelle can say the Stephanie lines, and Stephanie can start saying the DJ lines.
Yeah.
DJ's just like out. She's good, you know. But I gotta say, I mean, I don't want to go into it because we're talking about a young Stephanie, but old Stephanie now, Fuller House Stephanie. Love you.
That's the party. And so do those titties.
My wife is saying cut it out. I don't think she likes me talking about Stephanie's titties, but babe, I'm sorry.
I'll do the talking about Stephanie Tanner's titties.
I mean,
bless
here's where this is the comparable, and I'm, you know, maybe we don't want to end on the titties discussion. Maybe we do. I like it, but here is the comparable set of titties to me that was like an infatuation and sexiness level. So we got Stephanie, whatever her name is. What's her name? Jodie Sweetin.
Jodie Sweetin.
I'm going to say that instead of Stephanie. Jodie Sweetin or Stephanie McMahon. That battle of the titties, when Stephanie McMahon, vintage Stephanie McMahon, when she was like first becoming like an NFL or WWF diva and like character.
Yeah.
I mean, Steph.
I gotta go Stephanie Tanner because she likes to party.
I mean, she does. She's DJ. It's very confusing, but she's also quote unquote DJ Tanner. She's Stephanie DJ Tanner because she is a DJ in the future.
Really? So she likes going to like house shows and stuff. Okay.
She's that's her profession. My wife watched that show. I've caught a couple episodes, but you know, it's just not my vibe. And
yeah.
But I mean, tune in for Stephanie because
yeah, they should have called Fuller House Fuller Bra.
Fuller bosom.
Yeah, with Stephanie Tanner being the focal point because those titties are stars.
I want to make a movie that's just her going to a Renaissance fair in costume, just straight jugged out, you know, real authentic to medieval times, you know?
Yeah, a Miller Boyette production. But yeah, man.
How is Steve? I mean, other than that, I love this, dude. So this is episode 1, guys.
Pilot.
Steve, how do you feel, man? How do you feel about this experiment?
I feel like this is the genesis of the biggest thing since the OJ case.
I mean, speaking of the 90s, we gotta have an OJ. We gotta have an OJ episode at some point.
Yeah, man. What a movie within itself.
Wait, he did something other than Naked Gun?
Right.
What else is he famous for other than being great in slapstick comedies, Steve?
And running in airports and Avis commercial.
But I love it, dude. I mean, I think we'll call it on this. If you're good, I think we got. Unless you have anything to say about that Uncle Jesse or just his sex appeal, anything to add before we close this out?
Oh man, Uncle Jesse's one of the gods of Uncle Kingdom in the TV phenomenon, whatever, however you want to say it. But I also want to add that wasn't even DJ Tanner's fucking sweater. She's a lion ass cunt, and that was actually Kimmy Gibbler's sweater that she borrowed months ago. So you know that's why Stephanie.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like these kids, like they need Jesse, and they need Jesse to pop off and be like, shut the fuck up. You know what I've seen? You ever seen a speculum used before? That used to be what we did all the time. I've seen some shit.
Man.
I'm a ripper.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I enjoyed this. This is a pilot episode. It happened in the 90s. And yeah, man, tune in. All of that.
Oh yeah. So we'll get all the shit set up. So like as far as the social media and stuff, that's still going. But as soon as we have all that information, we'll put it out there. But
yeah,
we got to keep this one going, Steve. This is a burner, bro. There's too much 90s shit. We got a lot to cover. I mean, yeah, episode 1 was just a banger. So
a whole heap of shit. But yeah, man.
All right, dude.
That does it, man. I'm Steve G. Oh, and also, hey, man, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, go for it.
Oh man, make sure to check out our sister shows, Over the Culture and Matt.
Oh yeah, Ain't Life Funny with me and my buddy Aaron. It's a great show. So we love if you guys listen to all that shit too. But please listen to this. If you love the 90s, we're gonna give you ways to reach out to us. Let us know what you think. And hell yeah, Steve. We'll see you next time for a little more 90s action. Episode 2.
All right, man.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.